Hello and welcome to the Gadgets and Gizmos show on Headlines Today. I'm Siddharth Sharma, and over the next half an hour we've lined up for you guys some of the most interesting smartphones and technology reviews on this episode. But before we begin, let's tell you what's our lineup. On the show this week, we get you a rehab center for your technology addiction. We also get you a new smartphone from the house of Panasonic. And also, are all wearable technologies good? Alright, that's our lineup on the show, and first up what we've got for you guys is the all-new LG G3. This is the latest smartphone offering from the house of LG, and this is their flagship smartphone. But before we begin the review of this new device, let's tell you what the specs are like.
LG G3 is finally here in India, but is it worth the hype? The new LG G3 flagship sports 5.5-inch 1440 by 2560 QHD pixel resolution screen, which provides the super crisp 538 pixels per inch. Dimensions are pretty compact for the screen size, resulting in excellent 76.4% screen to body size ratio. The Android 4.4 KitKat based handset is powered by quad-core Snapdragon 801 and 3 GB of LPDDR3 RAM. It features 32 GB of internal storage and a micro SD slot. The main 13-megapixel rear shooter comes with the company's improved optical image stabilization plus and has a laser autofocus assist beam which delivers fast focus even in low light scenarios. There is also a 2.1-megapixel front-facing camera for selfies. LG G3 is priced in India for 47,990 rupees.
Alright, those are the specs on the all-new LG G3, the flagship smartphone from the house of LG. So let's begin the review and tell you about its design first. Now if you look at this smartphone, to describe it in one sentence, all you have to say is that it's bigger, brighter, sharper, and of course, impressive. Now, if you look at the design, LG has managed to squeeze in a 5.5-inch display, keeping the bezels really thin. The smartphone grips really well in your hands, and of course, the button placement is at the back. The volume rocker, the power key button, the camera, they're all integrated nicely at the back. There's also a brushed metal finish which is non-smudging, but of course it's not metal that's used on this smartphone. It is actually a polycarbonate shell, but definitely gives you that premium feel of brushed metal steel. Design-wise, this is a very nice smartphone with a big display on it, and of course it hits the sweet spot when it comes to the design. Now the screen is a thing of beauty on this one. This is a 5.5-inch QHD screen. LG has been advertising this smartphone that has a QHD screen. So what is a QHD screen? It's actually a 2K screen, twice the resolution of your HD display. And it is sharper. It provides a 534 ppi of pixel resolution, and the screen is actually very sharp. But hey, you really need to look very closely to find that sharper detail on the display. So in a way, it really doesn't matter whether you get an HD screen with this one or a QHD screen. It's more of a marketing gimmick by LG. But overall, if you talk about the display, it's actually very good. It's not as bright or as contrasting as a Super AMOLED display, but it's right up there with modern high-end smartphone displays. So display-wise, yes, the LG G3 definitely delivers. Now there's very little to choose between high-end Android smartphones these days when it comes to performance. They almost all pack in the top-end Qualcomm Snapdragon chipset in them. Similarly, the LG G3 also packs in the Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, a quad-core processor that is clocked at 2.5 GHz, and if you buy the 16 GB variant of this smartphone, you get about 2 GB of RAM, and if you buy a 32 GB variant of the LG G3, you get 3 GB of RAM. That 1 GB of RAM actually does not make much of the difference when it comes to multitasking. The phone can easily handle heavy 3D gaming as well with an ease, and multitasking of course. And on that beautiful display that it has to offer, well, it looks brilliant. So performance wise, this smartphone is on the money and at the same platform as any high-end Android smartphone over there, be it the HTC One M8 or the Sony Xperia Z2 or the Samsung Galaxy S5. This smartphone delivers when it comes to performance. LG is packed in a lot of hardware innovation when it comes to the 13 megapixel primary camera on the all-new LG G3. Now the laser autofocus is the real innovation that we've never seen before in a mobile camera. Most cameras rely on contrast detection to focus. That's all well and good in bright conditions, but in low light there's not enough contrast, and this means that the camera struggles to focus. The LG G3 low power laser sends multiple beams of lights for the contrast detection to focus on. In low lit conditions, the LG G3 focuses and takes a picture very quickly. The camera app is really easy to use. There are just 4 modes: autofocus, magic focus, macro, panorama and the dual. The camera can also capture 120 frames per second slow motion videos and up to 5 minutes of 4K footage. It also packs in a 2.1 megapixel true selfie camera up front, which is really good for taking selfies, and that is where the rear buttons really help. All you have to do is just fire up the camera app, look at yourself while opening up the front facing camera and just click on a button, and there you go. I clicked a perfect selfie over there. There you go, that's the selfie. So camera wise, this is a very good smartphone when it comes to the rear camera as well as the front facing selfie camera. Now in this modern day and age of unibody smartphones, LG has done something different with the LG G3. What they've done is that they've provided the users with a 3000 milliampere removable battery on the LG G3. Now that is something really cool, but the battery life is just about average. It won't even last you the entire day. So make sure if you buy this smartphone, you charge it every day. Now at rupees 47,990, this is by far the best Android smartphone LG has produced. Not the best Android smartphone that you will get in the market, but this one definitely deserves a consideration if you are looking to buy a high-end Android smartphone for yourself. We would have been happy if LG had put it with not so special display on it, but rather a full HD display and improved on the battery life. But hey, that's the way they wanted to go. But nonetheless, a good smartphone at the end of the day, and this one definitely is a recommendation from our side as well. Now we are all addicted to technology in some way or the other. Every time we take our phones out of our pockets, we have to check that social media update, or click a selfie, or even play a game. So a group of people thought, why not start a de-addiction center for technology? And up next on the show, we get you a story about that.
in a world surrounded by smart devices, so much so that they are all set to overpower us. Just how a drug overpowers the will of the body, technology is doing that to us right now. Children of today are proud of calling themselves techno-savvy, but the consequences of the same are witnessed when they find themselves addicted to it. They've gradually confined and contracted their work into the virtual reality, the repercussions of which are experienced in the form of mood swings and aggression when the phones aren't in their hands or the internet speed drops. Now here is a rehab center if you think that technology has overpowered your young ones. Center for Children in Internet and Technology Distress, a center in Delhi, involves the young minds in games like Ludo and Carrom so that they don't think of their phones. They are asked to interact with people and spend time in reading and writing. With mobile phones in hand and the search engine on, it is indeed hard to discover something new. Technology is undoubtedly a boon provided it doesn't result in distress. The idea behind the establishment of a center for de-addiction from internet and technology was felt when children were found involving themselves too much into the virtual world away from parents and family. The lifestyle of an average child these days is such that prohibition of mobile phones in the schools makes him or her check the phone before leaving for school and immediately turning on social networking sites after returning home. Trending selfies, posting statuses, waiting for likes and comments, the activities have locked them into a virtual world, so much so that they do not find any other interest anywhere else. At this center, volunteers, counselors and doctors try to find measures to generate interest and make these children talk to their friends face to face apart from phone calls, and are told that likes on a post do not make you any superior. The objective of the center is to bring out a positive change in the children via counseling, and they make an appeal to the parents to mark a limit to the usage of internet and gadgets by their children from the very start.
Now, Panasonic is not that famous in India for making smartphones, but they recently came out with this. This is the Panasonic Eluga, and up next on the show, we get you the entire lowdown on this new smart device from the house of Panasonic.
This is the all-new Panasonic Eluga. Panasonic has come out with this smartphone for the Indian consumers at a price tag of 18,990 rupees. Eluga offers a 5-inch 1280 by 720 pixels HD IPS OGS display with Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection. It runs on a 1.2 GHz quad-core ARM Cortex-A7 processor by Qualcomm with Adreno 305 GPU. Eluga also operates on Android 4.4.2 operating system and offers dual SIM functionality. At the back, you get a 13-megapixel rear camera with LED flash and is compatible with 1080p video recording. There's also a 2-megapixel front-facing camera. Inbuilt storage is 16 GB and there's a 2500 mAh lithium-ion battery.
And with that, it's time for us to take a very small break on this episode, but you guys don't go anywhere because there's a lot more technology action coming your way on the other side.